In this video, I'm going to talk about how to construct a VU meter, or basically a record level volume meter for the input signal to a tape recorder. So the core of any VU meter is basically a set of comparators using op amps. I used here TLO 74 times 2, so there are two of those chips which have 4 op amps on each of them. And basically, I have a long resistor ladder that creates a voltage divider as the reference voltage, which gets plugged into the inverting input of each of the op amps at every division. And then the audio signal goes into the non-inverting input of all of the op amps. And as the voltages hit each level from the input signal, the output gets turned on or off based on the compared voltage from the op amps. So the way the VU meter feeds into the tape recorder circuit is that the output of the record preamp goes through a op amp based buffer. That signal centers around 6 volts, so we have to recenter it down to 0 volts and put some diodes in to prevent negative voltage going in. And there's a peak detector circuit with a 0.22 microfarad capacitor and a 220K resistor, which allows peak voltage to be detected, and that signal, the output of that goes into the input signal to the VU meter. So now we've put together the VU meter circuit over here on this perf board, and the yellow wire is basically the audio input signal, and I have it right now connected to a potentiometer that's wired as a voltage divider between 5 volts VCC and ground, just to test. A little level detector here. Here it is in action, just so I don't have to always check on using the oscilloscope. So I have here the iPad playing music. I have it playing now, and you can see the signal on the oscilloscope of how much we're getting out in terms of voltage. I have it going through, I have the input signal going through a buffer and out to a peak detector circuit with this capacitor and resistor, and then going through a set of 8 op amp set up as window comparators, and you can see the level here corresponding. So as I decrease the volume here, there you can see the volume going down. That level here is none, almost nothing on the oscilloscope, and it corresponds to the output here. Now let me increase the volume, and I'm going to start to see some lights go on, hopefully. Here's a low level. And this is, the purpose of this is to determine the levels for the record circuit. And here it goes. And we want this level to be max voltage to be approximately 2 volts and no more, which corresponds on this to a volume level that's about there. Here we go. I think we're approaching it. Let me go a little higher, and I think that's the best level, because now we can see a V max that's approaching 2 volts. Let's see, one more up, and that is above 2, but I think that's pretty good. And here it is on this level detector circuit. So this will, instead of buying another level, I'm just going to use this to adjust for recording input volume levels. Anyway, without having to always put it onto an oscilloscope. And that corresponds to a volume that's not all the way up, but 1 down from above. So you get a good volume without distortion. Okay. eventually I'm just going to put the volume level, the input level to max from the device, and then just have a voltage divider. And this is the input coming out of this Bluetooth device. Okay, let me stop it. There we go. And all the lights go off. Start it again. Alright, this is working. Good. Once again, this is how the VU meter feeds into the main circuit. The record circuit, basically output signal from the record preamp gets put out through two separate buffering op amps. One of them goes to the recorder and one of them goes into this VU meter, which you can see here. That goes through a 10 microfarad capacitor, through some diodes to prevent negative voltage, and then through a peak detector circuit, which gets output to the VU meter. The VU meter, as shown previously, I've added to this little schematic here, is basically a set of 8 op amps, and those 8 op amps are all configured as comparators through a reference voltage to the inverting inputs of each of those at every divided voltage step. Anyway, thank you for watching.